A lot of people are talking about the MAGA civil war. MAGA is falling apart. Zoran Mamdani rise to power. The Epstein files were diabolical. Ben Shapiro is beefing with Nick Fuentes. Oh my god, everything is collapsing. However, it turns out everyone's wrong, and Trump is literally one of the most popular presidents of all time among his voter base. Who could have thunk it? That's crazy. It turns out when Elon Musk revealed that there was a gigantic foreign operation where you had foreigners from across the world making believe and LARPing as Americans to tear us apart, it actually turns out that was only affecting the retards on the internet, but the reality is not exactly the same as what we're actually looking at. So take a look at this poll on CNN.
So is the president losing Republicans?
No. Look, this is still Donald Trump's Republican Party, and we can see it
But
here.
I was told MAGA is dead by some guys that said America first while he was actually in Bangladesh. I can't believe it.
It's like a rock, to quote Bob Seger. I mean, take a look here. Republicans who approve of Trump. 6 months ago, it was 87%. Now, well, hello, it's the same number. It's 87%. He has not lost any support.
Oh, Mike, so you mean to tell me that the account of the chiseled Greek philosopher, America Only account on Twitter that said, I'm leaving MAGA because Trump betrayed us, you mean to tell me that that guy was an Indian all along? From India? Bro, I am shocked. I am appalled.
Among Republicans compared to 6 months.
You mean when Trump bombed Iran exactly like he promised he would do before he got elected, it didn't actually tear the entire party apart? What? You mean it was all a LARP? Damn, it's kind of crazy how facts keep fucking with us.
Months ago, as I said at the beginning, he's like a rock. He's like a rock. The Republican base is sticking by Donald
crazy.
Trump at this point in time.
It really is interesting to watch his overall approval rating go down, 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 but see this be completely constant here.
It is among independents. It is not among Republicans.
Okay, so how does this compare to past presidents in a second term?
Yeah,
All right.
okay. I think
All right.
this gives the game away, right?
I see it.
Donald Trump, if you look at 21st century presidents, own party approval at this point in term two.
But I was told that everyone's turning on Trump and everybody hates him. I was told that since Trump fumbled with the H-1B visa thing, which to be fair, I do think Trump fumbled with that. But I was told that literally everyone decided to abandon Trump. What? No. What? But that's exactly what the Greek philosopher Twitter profile from Mogadishu was telling me. You mean to tell me that that dude was never an American?
Who leads the pack? It's Donald John Trump.
my
87%
God.
of Republicans approve of Donald John Trump. You go back to 2013, 78% of Republicans.
Quiet, piggy.
Of Democrats supported Barack Obama, and it was 78% of Republicans who supported George W.
Quiet, piggy. Quiet, piggy. It's over. I was told MAGA is dead when Trump said quiet, piggy to a reporter. I was told MAGA is dead about basically every single day over the last year.
Bush back in 2005 at this point. So Donald Trump has the biggest highest own party approval of any president who served their entire second term in the 21st century.
You could look at
Oh my God. In the entire 21st century, out of every president that served a second term, Trump is dominating by 10%, even though I was literally told half of his fan base abandoned him because he's owned by the Jews. This is truly diabolical.
It's one of two ways. You could say, obviously, he's doing way better than past presidents. Or you could say, there is still room to settle. If there is a reversion to the mean here, if that does fall further, that could chip into his overall approval rating. Okay, March.
This is what we call coping, for those of you that are unaware. What this dude was just doing is called unfathomable levels of cope. I'm really glad we're on the same page. If it falls even further, it didn't fall by 1%.
Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning from Congress in January.
Yeah, she was a fraud.
One of the
I'll be real. I saw Asmongold was actually liking what she said. I think Asmongold just didn't have the context. Marjorie Taylor Greene was a traitor and a fraud. She literally did a generational run on leftist media to call Trump a pedophile.
concerns is that Donald Trump backed someone in a primary against her.
Yeah, no one cares about her.
How has Donald Trump done in his congressional endorsements?
You know, when you go up against Donald Trump, you're going up.
You're going up against a demon. Yeah, so anyway, that's kind of where we're at these days. The point that I am trying to make is I'm very excited for this new Shoe on Head video. She just released a video an hour ago. I didn't see it yet, obviously. How did this happen? Epstein, Fuentes, and the Democrats' revenge. Now, I do think it's very likely the Democrats are going to win the midterms. I think there's a lot of lawfare going on, and it's really scary, right? You have a lot of people that actually do get arrested from the establishment, and some woke judge just basically throws them out and releases them. Essentially, you have this happening again and again and again, where it's very, very hard for the Republican Party to make any headway because the Democrats keep cucking them at every single turn. every single turn, not exaggerating, unironically. It's terrifying. It really is. You know, they block ICE, they shut the government, they do everything they can to scam. And the reality is the Republicans are way too cucked, because those guys, they're snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. They refuse to actually fucking cook a little bit harder. Get your hands a little bit dirty and actually cook. And they refuse. And that's why, realistically, the needle just doesn't move. So anyway, I'm very, very excited. Very excited to see this new Shoe on Head video and see her opinion, because she's genuinely pretty based. But the point that I'm trying to make is, we survived, in my opinion, one of the biggest foreign operation campaigns of all time. We got the Epstein files, which ended up not really incriminating Trump at all, and potentially was a 5D chess move, and I'll explain why as we go on. Mamdani, who was dominated by Trump, and, well, we'll see what happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to inform you that the rumors are indeed true. The Democrats have struck back. In the New Jersey governor's race, the Democrat won. In the Virginia governor's race, the Democrat won. And in the New York City race, Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani defeated Andrew Cuomo to become the next mayor of America's largest city. But the question—
Now, for the record, credit where credit is due, those are all deeply blue areas. So yes, the blue candidate won in the different blue areas. This is not indicative of anything. Also, it was in middle of a government shutdown. That's another point that's important to note. That was done by the Democrats, and the entire media apparatus blamed it on the Republicans. So you got hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Americans that wanted to get their SNAP benefits and their EBT cards and all that, and they couldn't do it. And obviously, someone that doesn't actually read the news, they blame the government. They blame Trump because Trump is the president. They blame the red guys, the Republicans, when in reality it was the Democrats that shut the government down. I think that was one of the biggest scams of the modern presidency, aside from the fact that they literally imported an army of retards to vote for them. So you got a really wild mix. And in my opinion, it was a diabolical scam that they did pull off. And the Republicans refused to actually get dirty about it. And they kind of refused to do anything. We got to get these boomers out of Congress.
On everyone's mind is, was it just a fluke? Just easy wins in blue cities and states?
No such thing as a fluke.
Or is there something more to this?
There's something to it.
Is this a sign of things to come?
Oh, boy.
Is the Democratic Party finally turning their losing streak around? Are they actually—
No, they're not. No, they're not. Let me say something that's going to be controversial, okay? I do believe that both the Republican and the Democrat Party refuse to actually go all the way in regards to a specific belief system that I like. While I do think that the Republican Party and the conservatives in general have a much more pro-Bible stance and actually do fight for truth a little bit more than the Democrats, they don't go nearly far enough. Not even close. All right? That's one thing that I think is important to note. Very important to note. The other thing that's super important to note is that the Democrats embody, at this point in time, every single policy that Satan has. All right, not trying to sugarcoat it. They murder their babies. They castrate their children. They believe in open theft of communism, like genuine scamming, opening the borders, like deceit and all sorts of shit. No voter ID. What the hell is that supposed to mean if it's not trying to scam people? Realistically, it's the Satan party almost. And evil cannot build, it can only destroy. So while I do think the Democrats are really good at destroying Republicans, I just think they can't build anything themselves. And that's where we're at.
Be listening to the people now. Did they finally learn their lesson? No. Thanks for watching. 3 videos about electoral politics were warning the Democratic Party that young men were moving right because the party f***ing sucks and was becoming the young men eat and die movement. Spanking the Democratic Party for losing because they elected one of the most unlikable shittiest candidates while offering nothing to voters. And defending the voters from the wrath of a bunch of liberal streamer man-children calling the voters stupid and evil for daring not to vote for Hillary Clinton and brownface. But the thesis for all 3 of those videos was basically the same. As the right embraces working-class populism, the Democratic Party and the left will continue to fade into irrelevancy. But as I also—
that's where she's going, because Zoran Mamdani is essentially a leftist populist, and he won. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's also because he's young, and it's also because he got the retard vote. There's a lot of moving parts here.
Predicted in those last videos, there might be an eventual pendulum swing. And
there
it might
always
be happening
is.
Much sooner than I predicted. Like, how did we go from Republicans winning—
We got to break that pendulum, man. Like, Look, man, we have to bring God back to the people. It's so scary to look at this society, watching people obliterate themselves with the most demonic, hedonistic shit of all time. Like, realistically, I think that's the number one fundamental flaw. If you can distill it into one flaw, in my opinion, as far as American culture, it's that we are living in a culture where every school, every college is doing their absolute best to keep God out of the public square. But anyway.
The popular vote, in part thanks to a lot of the young people voting, to a bunch of data showing those same young people dropping their support for the GOP already. But the interesting thing is, those young people don't seem to be moving to the Democratic Party either. No. Where are they going?
They're going to the Nick Fuentes party.
And do the Democrats have a plan to scoop these people up? Yes, they do, and they called it, I'm not kidding, deciding to win.
Oh,
deciding to win.
What
as if
is
the whole time
this?
they have
I
just
never even heard of this.
been simply deciding to lose. It was a choice, guys. They changed their mind and they want to win now. In this video, I will talk about why I think Zoran Mamdani won. We will go through the Democrat Party's plan to decide to win. We will briefly talk about the rise of the political commentator Nick Fuentes, the MAGA Civil War, and what I like to call the inevitable rise of shoesalism. If that sounds interesting, stick around. If it doesn't, you can leave.
All right, I'm guessing what shoesalism is. All right, I'm guessing. Shoesalism is going to be a combination of right-wing and left-wing populism. It's going to be Zoran Mamdani and Nick Fuentes shaking hands across the horseshoe. All right, that's my guess. It's going to be more social policies comboed with nationalism. It'll be a national socialist party. We'll see what happens.
It's not like I'll miss you or anything, but I know a lot of you are not very interested in politics. You come here for the fun Reddit slop, the men versus women content. Yeah, I know. But unfortunately, politics kind of seeps into your lives whether you want it to or not. So you might as well be entertained when you hear about it and have some fun with it when you can. And I just so happen to have the perfect app for that. So before we get into this, White House apparently inverted this.
Ground news.
But don't just take my word for it. Even the Nobel Your World, which is news shoe, or $1 a month, which is basically the price of like a coffee. You can also gift a subscription to somebody. Just select the Vantage subscription, add a customized gift message, and Ground News will send it straight to their inbox where they can activate it. The perfect Christmas for this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad.
it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Right. Now, let's get back to the video. For those of you familiar with the Shoe on Head channel, you know I've harshly criticized the Democratic Party for all my career.
True.
Some say too harshly. Frankly, I don't care.
I would not say too harshly. I don't think it was harsh enough, actually.
Some say I'm not harsh enough on the Republicans. First of all...
I disagree. She is pretty harsh on the Republicans.
True, but let's be honest.
Okay.
That's not why you come here. You go to Kyle Kulinski for that. Just like you go to Destiny
to be fair, those guys are ridiculous.
See opinions you can hear on CNN, or to Hassan for dog training tips.
Oh my god, the left is so cooked. The left is so cooked. Every time I hear about like the leftist Smash Bros alliance of streamers, like the Avengers assemble of retards on the left, I'm just like, wow, you have actual pedophiles and dog torturers and terrorists. Like, what are we doing?
Come here to hear, golly gee willikers, I'm left wing and the Democrats have gone crazy. That's the shit you're here for. But are the Democrats actually
I'm right wing and the Democrats have gone crazy.
Their shit together? Or did they simply get lucky in a few blue areas?
This is why I like watching Shoe on Head, because I'm watching tard-on-tard violence in the best possible way. This is diabolical. Oh my god, it's perfect. It's absolute cinema. I want to see the leftist take on why leftists are dog shit. All right, I already know the conservative take about why leftists are dog shit, so this is great.
One of those blue areas being my city, New York, where Democratic Socialist candidate Zoran Mamdani won the election and will become the new mayor. And a lot of people are like really confused about how this happened. And if you're—
I am like, dude, everyone tries to make this like a really difficult thing. You know, they're like, well, actually, it's because of Israel. It's not because of Israel. All right, it's not because of anything. It's not because of Israel. I'm sure that she's gonna mention that. But it's not because of Israel. It's not because of. It's because he's a young guy. Okay. It's because he's a young guy, and he got the retard vote. It's because he got the retard vote. He was able to walk up there, smile, have charisma, and straight up say, free shit to everybody. We're going to protect the illegals, and we're going to import more Muslims. He got the Muslims to vote for him. He got the poor people to vote for him. He wants to close the prison, so he got the criminals to vote for him. He got the lib shits to vote for him. He got all the retards that came out of college systems with so much empathy because they were overloaded with empathy butt sex from their degree in college. Those guys all voted for him too. He got the retard vote, the lowest common denominator vote. That's right. And that's how he won. It's actually incredibly obvious. Also, his opponents were literally sex offenders and retards. All right? They put him up against, like, the reverse Hillary Clinton level of unlikable candidates.
One of those people you really need to keep watching. If you don't understand why Mamdani won, I'm sorry to say, but you're kind of like the liberals in 2016
True.
who didn't understand why Trump won.
Yeah, I'm shocked, by the way. I've spoken to people that, like, don't understand why Mamdani won. And it's like, how do you not understand why he won? He literally promised free shit to everyone. Bro, what do you mean? He literally just promised free things to all the people. It's the only person shocked that Mamdani... Okay, all right. Okay, I have to calm down. The only one shocked by Mamdani's victory is Hassan Piker's dog.
Actually extremely understandable why Zoran Mamdani won, and it's not just because New York is full of commies or whatever. He is objectively the best Democratic candidate that they've had in a very, very long time. Like, I know the
Dude,
bar-
he went up against Cuomo, a dude who was tied to, like, deaths of hundreds of old people in old age homes. Like, what are we talking about?
is in hell there, but he's young, he's energetic, he's charismatic, and people are really tired of the White House doubling as a retirement home. And of course, I like many of his economic policies. I like the universal childcare thing, the transportation, flipping all the Christopher...
I don't like, I'll be real, I don't like that. It's cringe as fuck. I'll be honest, I just hate communism so much. I hate it. It's an anti-God stance. It's evil. Communism's evil, okay? That's my opinion. By saying free buses, it means the buses aren't free. It just means he wants to find a way to fund the buses with other people's money, all right? And in fact, ever since he won, I had this pulled up actually for a different video, he released dozens of ads. I'm not going to convince Commie Mommy. Yeah, I'm talking to you. He released dozens of ads begging for money.
Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again. This transition requires staff, research, and an infrastructure that can meet this moment. Still asking for your help because we need to raise $4 million in total, so January 1st can be the day we start to deliver, not start to prepare. I hope very soon not to have to ask you for money, but until then, I'm asking. Leaves, they are changing. The air, it is crisp. But one thing that stays the same is we still need you to donate. Remember how
So again, this is what happens when you're a communist. Free buses, everybody. Well, who's paying the bus drivers? Right? Who's paying for the gas? Well, you are still paying for it. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to communism. All right, someone still pays for it.
Columbus statue, that's the shit I don't like. That's our fucking guy. He was a brave Italian explorer who discovered America, and in this house, Christopher Columbus is a hero. End of story. I've said this many times, but...
I mean, to be honest, the reason why he was, like, giving the finger to Christopher Columbus statue is because he hates America. It's because he is a Trojan horse candidate that's running on socialist promises in order to import infinite Muslims and take over the country. Okay? I'm sorry. You might think that's Islamophobic. And Zoran Mamdani, if your aunt is watching, I do apologize. But, guy, that is why I don't like that he's flipping off the statues. It's because he hates our country and he wants to reshape it into a new nation. Infinite immigration. That's his goal. And the communism shit's the Trojan horse in order to get the retard vote.
I don't think the good left-wing policies can even exist alongside the bad left-wing policies. Like, I don't know how you can have free transportation but also be soft on crime. Like, I don't know, like, in what world does that work out?
Yeah, I'm glad that there's still common sense. The answer is you can't have either of them, actually, turns out. No, you can't. You need police officers, you need to arrest criminals, and you understand one of the reasons why he said he wanted free transportation was because he thought if the transportation is free, people that are criminals wouldn't have to stab people to get on buses. He said making transportation free would drop crime. That's retarded. That's retarded. That's retarded.
You can't have nice, clean, free transportation if a bunch of drug addicts...
Of course it's not going to be nice, clean, and free. We're going to have more Irina Zarutskas than ever. Like, you don't... Of course. He's creating Gotham City. Welcome to modern day leftism.
Felons are going around stabbing people and setting them on fire.
That's
you
right.
Can't have nice things
Not good.
if you don't have rules to enforce those nice things.
Obviously.
You know what I mean? It's always such a breath of fucking fresh air when I go back to visit my family in the suburbs of Long Island.
True.
And I go to the CVS and the fucking toothpaste is free.
True. Not that it's free, but like it's not locked up.
From their plexiglass prisons.
Yep.
I shouldn't have to wait 10 minutes for some poor wagey to come unlock the cagey so I can buy fucking shampoo.
And you have to understand, this is going to be a really hot take, but stores need to hire more employees because they need to lock all of their shit behind cages. Okay, so they need to hire more wages to unlock the cages. But if you're gonna open, all right, welcome to socialism. If you're gonna open government-run grocery stores to outcompete all of the actual other grocery stores, then the actual grocery stores are gonna be making less money, which means less money to pay the wages to unlock the cages. And if they get rid of the cages, then, well, the fatigue rises. More people will break in and steal your shit. Like, I'm not even joking. I've covered this in a previous video in New York. If you want to watch my previous New York video, you can. There is a guy who's known as a villain in New York right now that's broken into over a dozen stores, and I'm shitting you not. He drives a electric scooter. Okay, he gets to a store, he reaches over the counter, and he empties the cash register. They called the police on this guy, and the police said, "We know of him. He's hit multiple locations. Our solution is simple. Just move the cash register further away so you can't reach it when they lean over." The solution was not arresting Dark Moomin Rider. The solution was moving the cash register away. Dude, we're cooked.
Have to live that way. Maybe he'll do great, or maybe he gets into power and immediately cucks to the establishment like some other people.
Damn.
I don't like to talk about it.
Yeah,
I just don't know how the hell anyone thought Andrew Cuomo was going to win.
Yeah, that's the point. He, like, aside from the fact that he got the retard vote, he also went up against possibly the worst candidates of all time.
A bunch of grandmas during COVID.
As you admitted this week, you personally altered the state health department report to undercount the death total, to hide the death total, and then evaded and lied to these families for 5 years. So
You killed a shit ton of people.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Like, literally, they put him up against the worst fucking guy.
For what? He doesn't even live in New York City. He doesn't live in the city he's running to be mayor of. Cuomo just kind of expected to win based on name recognition alone and being like, hey, at least I'm not the...
Hey, I'm famous. You know me from all those grandmas that I killed. That's some name recognition if I've ever heard it. That's the worst name recognition of all time.
Other guy. Sound familiar? Trump actually offered a vision. Make America great again. Mamdani offered a vision. A New York City you can afford. So people took a chance on him. People wanted something different.
True.
Andrew Cuomo, he had no vision or anything. Oh man, I love tuning into a debate about New York City, and 80% of it is about
Israel.
another country.
I knew that they were going to do that.
The first foreign visit by a mayor of New York is always considered significant. Where would you go first?
First visit, I would visit the Holy Land.
I would go to Israel.
I'd make my 4th trip to Israel.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address...
He lied, for the record. So, by the way, I think it's cringe as fuck that everyone said Israel. That said, they were probably trying to get the Jew vote from New York. All right, I want to make this clear. But he lied. He literally went immediately, the day after winning the election, he went to Puerto Rico to a mosque that has endorsed terrorist attacks. Okay, so for the record, he lies here.
New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Mr. Mamdani, can I just jump in? Would you visit Israel?
That was the exact moment I knew
That is cringe as fuck. That is such an unbearably cringe clip.
Zoran was going to win.
Yeah, I agree. He refused to toe the line. But I don't even think this is about Israel because now, for the record, let me show you a Zoran Mamdani clip that I think you'll like. All right, so this is Zoran Mamdani talking about why he's running for mayor of New York City. All right, so a lot of people say he's the only one that actually cares about New York and not other lies, literally untrue. Take a look at this one. This is why he ran for mayor.
So like some of you, my journey in organizing and my journey in politics began with Palestine.
His journey in politics began with Palestine. He's repping a foreign nation. It's just a different foreign nation. It doesn't matter. This is why he ran. He's running to be the mayor of New York City because of Palestine. All right? He's just playing to the retard vote every single time, and he got it.
It was and continues to be something that I deeply care about. I came to this country when I was 7 years old, and as soon as I got to any kind of level of political consciousness, the contradiction around Palestine struck me. That we
you're becoming the mayor of New York City.
Claim to hold these universal ideals, and then when it came to applying them to Palestinians, we drew a line in the sand.
Yeah, that don't actually commit terrorist attacks, actually. But then again, this guy supports 9/11, so why wouldn't he support Palestinian terrorism? I mean, again, not trying to be shocked here or anything, but obviously that is the reality. But anyway, I could show you this forever. He keeps talking about Palestine for another minute.
We cared about justice, we cared about safety, we cared about peace even, and yet we did not dare to apply those things to Palestine.
I mean, they started all the wars. Like, I do feel bad for Palestinian civilians that are swept up in all of this. They literally started every single war. All of them were started by them. All right. Now, in case you were unaware of the actual drama, all right, around, I don't just mean this one. I don't just mean the pretendicide that happened in Gaza over the last 2 years. That's not what I'm talking about. All right. What I'm talking about is every single war since 1948, since the state of Israel was established, was started by Palestine or surrounding Arab nations. Every single one. That's why this is like unbelievable every single time. It's crazy. So, but anyway, so he also ran his campaign on a foreign nation.
And so when I got to college, I co-founded my school's first Students for Justice in Palestine.
And that's how it started. Essentially, that's why he's running for mayor of New York, because obviously Palestine is number one on his list. My struggle for the Palestinian liberation was at the core of my politics and continues to be. Great. Now, that's someone that's clearly fighting for New York. Now, again, I want to make this very clear. All these boomers saying that their first trip would be to Israel, the Holy Land, Israel's amazing, that's cringe. It is. It's cringe as fuck. I don't care. If you're running for the mayor of New York, you should only care about New York. I don't care if you care about any other nation or any other country. All right? I mean this as like a rule across the board. If you are running for New York, you should not be doing it to glaze foreign nations at all. All right, same with the Somalians in Minnesota. Same with the Muslims and Syrians in Michigan. I don't care. I do not care about, if you're running for an office in America, your allegiance should be to America. I know that this is a hard thing to understand, but it's actually really obvious. But being like, well, all these guys cucked out to Israel, unlike Zoran Mamdani, who cares about New York. That's also complete and utter bullshit. That also isn't true. He just cucked out to the other guys in the Middle East.
You visit Israel?
That what he sees. I love how they're like, where would you go? And Zoran was like, I'm gonna stay here. And
which, by the way, for the record, he literally didn't do. He literally immediately went to Puerto Rico to a mosque.
Instead of being like, no, Zoran, the question was, where would you go? They're like, why wouldn't you go to Israel? Like,
well, I mean, to be honest, it's because Zoran said globalize the Intifada, which is, I guess, pretty controversial.
That's the answer to the question. Like, that's just the default answer to that.
Yeah, true. It's cringe as fuck. She's completely right about this.
Question.
She's completely right that they all handled that wrong. What she's wrong about is that A, he lied. B, he literally did make a foreign nation the core of his campaign.
Was very much in part a direct response to the affordability crisis that many Americans are facing.
True.
So what is the GOP's answer to the affordability crisis? Oh, great news, guys. There is no affordability crisis. It doesn't exist. It's all...
Okay, to be fair, that's coming from Axios. According to Newswire, quoting Axios, quoting Trump officials, everyone says there's an affordability crisis. JD Vance just tweeted yesterday about the affordability crisis. But I can tell you a really simple solution. This isn't going to solve the entire affordability crisis, but I can make a large dent. Deporting 30 million people that are illegal in this country would help a metric shit ton, okay? And I'm tired of making believe it won't help, okay? If we have a shortage of 7 million houses, but we have 30 million illegals, it would help a lot. It would. I'm sorry. There's an extra 5 million illegal people in New York. Well, if they're deported, suddenly the housing market would get a little more affordable. I'm not saying a lot more affordable, but definitely a little more affordable, okay? Like, and so Trump, it's not like the Trump administration isn't tackling this at all. Let's just say they're doing it from another perspective. Zoran Mamdani wants to do it from the perspective of, well, actually, let's just tax white people a little bit more, and that'll somehow be good.
In your head, silly. Need to save money? Simply don't buy your grandmother a Christmas present this year.
Budget, budget, budget. You need a plan. Also remember, adults don't need gifts, okay? Focus on your life who are age 3 to 18. Grandma doesn't need slippers. If they don't live by you, don't get them a gift.
Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yo, this bitch needs to get fired. That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Now's not the time to spend and break the banks.
Zoran's win was also basically a direct response to the housing crisis in America. So what is the GOP's response to the pie-in-the-sky, commie gobbledygook that Zoran Mamdani is selling? Surely they have a better solution.
Here we go. The White House is floating this idea.
Right.
Bill Pulte is saying...
No, he's going to mention the 50-year mortgages.
And thanks to President Trump, we can indeed work on the 50-year mortgage.
This was a nightmare announcement by Trump. A nightmare announcement. This is probably the top 3 worst thing Trump said through both of his terms combined was, hey, maybe we should introduce 50-year mortgages. No, sir. 50-year mortgage, that just makes you an indentured servant. Okay? 50-year mortgage means you're a slave for life. They own you forever. And also the actual the usury goes up to infinity. Terrible idea.
Complete game changer. How does that work in dollars?
Yeah, but also, shoe on head, the other part of this is deporting a lot of people, which also contributes.
Here you go, 30-year...
And also building more houses. Trump literally said he wanted to do that. So the 50-year mortgage is something he said that's completely retarded, and I'm not going to defend him on that one. That's a nightmare option. However, there are alternate solutions that are being proposed by the GOP, including more building houses and deport.
Mortgage right now, you're paying $2,038 a month principal and interest on a $400,000 home. At the bottom, under 50 years, you'd save a couple $100 a month at $1,822 principal and interest. That is proposed. Do you like this idea?
I do not like this idea.
Not lowering prices, not building more housing. No, just being a good little slave to the...
I'm pretty sure they said that they were planning on building more housing, actually. Let me see if I can find this. I could be totally wrong here, but I'm pretty sure they said that. All right. Yes, Trump, Vance, broader GOP have recently, in the last 2 months since September 2025, emphasized increased housing supply through construction core strategies to address the U.S. housing affordability crisis. This aligns with their platform. They discussed there's a national shortage of 4.5 to 6 million homes, which would really help if you deported 30 million illegals. Donald Trump on September 10th pledged via his transition team to open portions of federal land with ultra-low taxes, regulations, large-scale housing construction, explicitly aiming to cut the cost of new homes in half and end the crisis. This builds on October 8th, etc., etc. On his first day back in office, he signed an executive order to expand housing supply. J.D. Vance, in multiple November 2025 appearances, Vance stated his administration is trying to make it easier to build houses and needs to be construct about 5 million new houses to tackle unaffordability, especially for young Americans. During a September interview, Vance echoed the GOP platform to open limited portion of federal lands to allow for new home construction. So, Miss Shoe on Head, I believe you are mistaken. They literally said that they were planning on doing that.
Like this idea.
Not lowering prices, not building more housing. No.
Yeah, so literally they are planning on building more housing. So that's just factually incorrect.
Being a good little slave to the bank for 50 years.
That's true. That's cringe as fuck. All right, I'm not going to defend the 50-year mortgages. That is a nightmare proposal.
Might as well be a rentoid forever in this case. Like, at least you don't have to fix your own dishwasher. You will own nothing and be happy. Doesn't that sound great, Gen Z?
Bro, that's literally communism. That is literally communism. Wait, communism is you will own nothing and be happy. You've got to stop.
Us will release the Epstein files and finally drain the swamp. Awesome. Finally, justice. Here it comes, the Epstein files phase 1. We got all your favorite E-celebs here.
No.
Don't you think that's a little tacky? I mean, like, this is an international child trap. The Epstein files are on my desk. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's what we've been waiting for.
Oh boy.
Well, oh,
there are no Epstein.
Wait, what? Yeah, the Epstein files don't exist. They're a Democrat hoax. But you just said, hey, what the that's my wallet. Sorry, Israel needs new weapons. Bye. What are you?
Oh my, that's a good skit. Damn.
You want, Democrat? Vote for us. Why? What do you have to offer?
True.
Hey, that's my wallet again. What are you people doing? Sorry.
Did give Israel new weapons.
Israel needs new weapons.
Yeah, that's where we're at, baby.
Bye. Nice. The Epstein files are a really big deal. This is not a partisan issue. You should absolutely care about an international trial a blackmail operation consisting of the most powerful people in the world.
All true.
And anyone telling you
Completely
to move on
true.
is coping, gaslighting, or in on it. If whatever is so damning that it is a national security risk, the people deserve to know.
Agreed.
Like, I don't know about you, but if we are paying taxes to a bunch of satanic pedophiles, I would like to know. That is information I would like to know. Like,
I mean, there is something nice about not knowing, but I agree. I'm with you completely 100%.
I already know we're doing that, but I would like some confirmation.
Yeah.
Okay, so literally as I am filming this, Trump is saying he is releasing the Epstein files, so I guess they weren't a hoax. I'm gonna be...
Okay, all right. I'm gonna be completely upfront here. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, because Trump never said that the Epstein files were a hoax, as in there was no child trafficking ring. He said the hoax was that he was in on it. It was his involvement that was the hoax. He phrased it very poorly, which made it sound like he called the entire Epstein situation a hoax. However, what he obviously meant was his involvement being the hoax. So it's a bit of a nuanced difference. That's one. Two, and I think this is also important to note, the Epstein files did not incriminate Trump whatsoever at all, actually. So she obviously recorded this probably like a week or two ago when Trump announced he wanted to release the Epstein files. But it turned out that Trump was not actually in the Epstein files virtually at all in any place that incriminates him. He was mentioned like 1,000 times, but he was mentioned because Jeffrey Epstein was working with Democrats to try to get him not elected. That's the craziest part. He was mentioned in the Epstein files because they were trying to get him not elected. What was revealed from the Epstein files was that 89% of Jeffrey Epstein's political donations went to Democrats and 0% went to Donald Trump. And Trump put him in jail. Epstein's lawyer said they had nothing on Trump. They blacked out the name of one of the victims. The victims ended up being Virginia Giuffre, who said they had nothing on Trump. You had Democrats exposed for taking Jeffrey Epstein's texts in middle of congressional hearings to try to get Trump in trouble. So it turns out it almost seemed like a gigantic 5D chess plan where Trump said Trump tried to. So let me give you some lore. I'm going to give you some lore because a lot of you probably are not following. So I'm going to explain it to you. Trump wanted to release the Epstein files. It was blocked by 3 judges, 2 Obama judges and 1 Clinton judge. They blocked the release of the Epstein files. Trump then said there are no Epstein files. The Democrats attacked him for 6 months until he said, you know what, fine, we'll release it. And suddenly, those same 3 judges didn't stop him from releasing the Epstein files. They released the Epstein files, and it incriminated 89% of the Democrats. All right? Hakeem Jeffries, who was like this big anti-Trump guy talking about how the Epstein files were all exposing Trump, turns out that dude had dinners with Jeffrey Epstein, despite claiming he never met him before. So I'm not saying that this was a gigantic 5D chess plan about a way for Trump to actually get the Democrat judges to let him release the Epstein files. But like, if you told me it was, I might believe you. I might believe you. It's absolutely diabolical how this actually worked out. It's crazy. Now, realistically, the Epstein files incriminated the Democrats way more than they incriminated Trump. And that's incredibly obvious to anyone that actually read them. And you want to know proof? I'll give you proof immediately. Since Trump released the Epstein files, notice that the Democrats are not talking about them. The Epstein files were the #1 thing that was talked about for the last 6 months. And for the last week or so, not a peep. It wasn't even on CNN. This wasn't on CNN. It wasn't on MSNBC. It wasn't on any of these other retard situations. You don't have White House posts being replied. That's cool. Where's those Epstein files, though? No one's even talking about it because, well, it turns out it accidentally incriminates the Dems a little more than the Republicans. It's kind of weird how that works.
So honest, I have no idea what the is going on, you guys. I'm sure when this video gets posted, there's already going to be more things that have happened.
True.
Also, Mike Johnson apparently
So that's the lore.
said they need to make changes to the files to make sure we,
I heard
quote,
that's cringe.
don't do permanent damage to the political system.
Yeah, I think that's insufferable. She's completely right about this. That is absolutely insufferable. It's like, oh, we don't want to expose pedophiles because it might damage the political system. Are you kidding me?
If releasing the Epstein files would do damage to the political system, then so be it. Then it deserves to be damaged. It deserves to be destroyed.
True.
Just release the files. After all, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. Isn't that right, government? But just the Epstein files thing that...
But I'm going to tell you something scary. They do actually have a lot of thing to hide.
Has MAGA feeling a little demoralized lately.
Does that mean the H-1B visa thing?
Oh yeah, this was another Trump L.
Will not be a big priority for your administration, because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. We
have talented people
no,
here.
You don't. No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have. You don't have certain talents, and people have to learn.
We've talked about this a few times on this channel. Actually,
No, Trump took a major L there, for sure. That's a bad Trump take.
Very recently in the male loser epidemic video, the no talented Americans thing is a myth pushed on us by corpos and billionaires, so they can hire foreign workers who will work for less money and won't unionize. True. Worker drones who will work under the coercion of deportation, essentially creating infinite scab labor. Even though there are so many Americans in these fields looking...
The issue is, the H-1B visa, in a nutshell, it's a good system if it actually worked. It doesn't, though. Like, the H-1B system is supposed to get skilled laborers to get jobs that we can't do here, and to, like, import people that, doctors and engineers and stuff. But it ended up being, well, I'd like to hire somebody, but I can hire an Indian guy for half the price. So let's bring one of those guys in, and it ends up cucking American workers. So yeah, no, it's a vastly exploited situation.
For jobs. But those spoiled Americans will ask for a living wage so they can live in a 600-foot square apartment. How dare they? We can't do that. So import 1 billion immigrants. After all, It's good for business.
Folks are not thrilled about this idea of hundreds of thousands of foreign students in the United States.
If we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of
So, says the reporter. Also true. Literally, fuck all the colleges.
business. And it's not that I want them, but I view it as a business.
Unfortunately, America does feel like nothing but three corporations in a trench coat. But America,
I mean, to be fair, this is Trump. They elected the man to be a businessman, and he is a businessman. But you know, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
It's not a business. America
of this thing specifically. I think Trump's been cooking in a lot of other areas, but I think this was a miss.
is not a corporation. It is a nation. The contrast.
See, I'm fair. I am a very fair, level-headed guy. I will shit on anyone that deserves it, but I will also defend people when they deserve it as well. Very fair, level-headed, blue retard. Definitely subscribe.
Of what Trump is saying here compared to how he used to talk is staggering. Republicans embracing populism, at least rhetorically, is what gave rise to Donald Trump and fundamentally changed the way Republicans do politics in America.
Yeah,
if you go back and watch the debates of Donald Trump in 2016, it's crazy.
We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East. They lied. They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
I remember being like, damn, that's not how politicians in general really talked at that time.
Yep.
Like, we would see it from Bernie Sanders and maybe like Ron Paul, but to get up on stage in a Republican debate in front of Republican donors saying that kind of shit was unheard of. Bro was getting booed. Trump won in 2016 by decrying the bloodlust and warmongering of the Republican Party, but also by speaking to the economic woes of the average working class American. Basically saying, I see you, to people who felt like they haven't been seen by either party in a very
And the reality is, now the party of the working class is the Republican Party. The Democrats don't actually care about the working class. They've imported a new underclass that they care about.
long time. Like, I saw people in my life, my neighbors and stuff, that were all like Obama voters, like just flipped to Trump, and now like all of Long Island. Long Island is like the Florida, the Northeast.
Yeah, I know. I have a family member in Long Island. She is such a radical pro-Trump girl. It's crazy. Like, bro, dude. Oh, oh my God. Like, Fox News is playing 24/7 in her home. Not even exaggerating. Yeah, no, she is diabolically pro-Trump.
Bro, it is like Trump country there now.
True.
Before Trump, oh, my nuggies are here. My nuggies are here. One second. I must go get my nuggies. It's nuggie time. 34
This is easily the best part of the video.
year-old woman, by the way. Mother, by the way. Before Trump, the Democrats basically relied on talking about how the Republican Party didn't care about the working class. But eventually, the problem for Democrats was the working class didn't care about them.
True!
But now,
So the Democrats decided, you know what? Instead of actually pivoting to make the working class care about us, let's import an underclass to society. We'll fight for the illegals and the criminals. We'll keep releasing them from jail infinite times to get all of their votes. Every criminal will always vote for the guy that will release them. That's incredible.
now it seems like the Republican Party is going back on all of that and becoming the Bush-era neoconservative party again.
Yeah, no one is saying that. They're absolutely not becoming any of that. If this was the if we were in Bushland, there would have been a ground invasion in Iran. All right, if this would have been Bush's presidency, we would have had boots on the ground in Iran today. All right, we don't. And Venezuela. All right, we don't. Yeah, no, I don't think Trump is a neocon party. It's insane.
Right as they're winning, embracing freaks like Lindsey Graham.
So I just want to say,
Lindsey Graham's diabolical.
I feel good about the Republican Party. I feel good about where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes. Trump is my favorite president. We've run out of bombs. We didn't run out of bombs in World War II.
Republicans, is that what you want your party to be?
God, dude. No, but no one likes Lindsey Graham. Bro, no one likes Lindsey Graham.
Lowering taxes and killing people? We tried
lowering taxes sounds good.
That already. To many Republicans, the solution to the affordability crisis wreaking havoc on Americans is simply trusting the free market, working hard, and if that doesn't work, they bust out all reliable.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing.
Oh,
yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up, but the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that.
Yes.
Ben Shapiro has a couple of bad takes. Like, dude, Ben Shapiro, I don't know what it is about him. Like, sometimes he'll make like a super rational argument and stuff, And then bro will whip out like the most horrible take of all time. Actually, I don't think people should ever retire, actually. And it's like, what do you mean? Well, what does that mean? You should work until you're 86, at least. And it's like, then he'll whip out one of those. Oh, dude, I remember when they released the JFK files, and you know, Ben Shapiro was making like a very logical analysis, and he's like, actually, JFK died so long ago, why do we really care who killed him? What? So anyway, but like that's like a classic. Like Ben Shapiro will be like logical 90% of the time, then 10% will be like so out there.
It's the classic. Just move. Just move from economic zone 67 to economic zone 69. I don't know, man. Maybe some people actually like where they live. Maybe they want to make their community better. This is like the libertarian version of just deal with it when you talk to leftists about crime. Like, no, we shouldn't just deal with it. We shouldn't just move. Maybe we can make the cities in our country livable and safe. Maybe better things are possible.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, I'm sure the best way to make things livable and safe is to vote for the Democrats that will import infinite Somalians into Minnesota. Yeah, you know, Somalia is a much better place right now. Absolutely. It's definitely improved dramatically. So, like, again, it's like, what's the alternative here? Like, we need to be tough on crime. We need to be tough on deportations. I think these are some of the most fundamental issues with America right now. It's the fact that people get away with unbelievable levels of crime, and you literally they're refusing to let you actually have a country governed normally. We're importing people that are trying to kill us. Like, what are we doing?
Actually, my husband and I moved away from our families because of his job, and it f***ing sucks. It sucks raising kids without an extended family around.
By the way, she right. Straight facts. Absolutely.
Say hi to grandma on FaceTime. Not normal, not natural. It was like aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents were just coming in and out of my house, like bringing over food, like, hey, I got some mancati. I would be babysat by my cousins and my aunts. And because we moved away, my kid won't have that. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's one reason many young people are putting off having children. The complete lack of community, the lack.
Yeah, that's probably a very tiny part of it, but that probably does contribute. Yeah.
Of a village. If you can't afford to live where your family lives, just move to fucking Gary, Indiana, where there's nobody around and no.
Yeah. I mean, look, man. Yeah, you could just move to Detroit and it's free, and you could buy an entire house for like 46 cents on the dollar. But realistically, that means you have to live in Detroit. So anyway,
jobs and
suicide is another option.
Family and no friends, but hey, at least you can afford a house there. That's not how life should work, Ben. Maybe take a step back and try to understand. Am I doing bird hands too much? You guys have made me so insecure about the fucking bird hands thing ever since this meme.
True.
Okay, listen, I'm a woman, okay? We are programmed to scold children. And when no children are around, we scold people on the internet, okay?
Damn, she's just completely correct about this point, which is why women should have children. And shut the fuck up a lot more. Again, not like it as a rule in general, obviously, but like it's something to strive for, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm just trying to be real here.
Anyway, Nick Fuentes is a far-righter and a controversial figure to say the least. But his main topic he covers is Israel, which is an extremely hot topic that many other right-wing commentators.
Bro, dude, why is everyone Israel first these days? It's crazy. Bro, I don't know who. I think Nick Fuentes talks about Israel more than Ben Shapiro. I'm just saying. I've seen both of them. I've seen both of their shit. I think Nick Fuentes talks about Israel more.
Seem to not want to touch. And the rare times they do touch it, it's them telling you not to talk about it, questioning why you care so much, or shape-shifting into the woke mob they fought against for so many years, calling you names, calling for you to be censored. What's funny is they didn't care about—
It's kind of weird because I really feel like this doesn't happen that much. Like when it comes to Nick Fuentes, it does happen a lot. But the amount of times I've seen people decide to show up and be like, I'm going to say something about Israel, and this is dangerous because they could literally kill me for saying this. Bro, what are you talking about? Like, you've got to stop. Stop doing it. Stop it. But it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. I mean, Candace Owens just did a new thing. Oh, she made a tweet with like 40 million views talking about how there's this secret alliance between the French and the Israelis trying to assassinate her. I'm not even exaggerating. This is a real thing that she decided to post. She's going on like a generational crash out. I received information from a top-ranking employee that I'm not going to mention, and I don't have any evidence that I can show you, but I think it's credible. It turns out there was a green light given to a small team to assassinate her. Also, this person, it was Charlie Kirk's assassin as well. So it's a surprise team, international group. More specifically, the green light was given to a small team. One Israeli is on the assassination squad. The Macrons have executed and paid for my assassination, she says. So the French and the Israelis are working together, even though they hate each other right now, are working together, and they are secretly creating an alliance that was utilized for the murder of Charlie Kirk, apparently, to kill Candace Owens. Bro, this is not happening, okay? It's not happening. You can say the most unhinged shit about Israel, and you could get away with it. We just now, there was Theo Vaughn on Joe Rogan talking about how Israel's trying to assassinate him and he's scared. It's like, bro, what are we talking about? Like, guys, you've got to stop. This is pathetic.
About any of Nick Fuentes's rants on, like, race or women, they only started caring when his rants on Israel were blowing up. Nick recently did an interview with Tucker Carlson.
I mean, to be fair, I've seen his rants on women and stuff flying around all the time.
Which completely ignited the MAGA civil war that was brewing on the right for some time now.
Yeah, it's funny. Again, that's why I wanted to show you the Trump poll at the very beginning of this, because despite the MAGA civil war, there really isn't that much of a MAGA civil war.
It got so ridiculous that even Chuck Schumer went on the Senate floor and called for a disavowal of Nick Fuentes.
Dude, Chuck Schumer is such a pathetic bitch for this, man. He really is. Like, Nick Fuentes is an American guy with the right to his own opinion. Like, this is crazy.
Sir, with all due respect, none. Why do politicians need a resolution in the Senate to disagree with a citizen? Hello, I have gathered you all here today to disavow—
Crazy waste of time.
Hitler Bussy 420. People can't afford groceries, Charles. Ben Shapiro, in particular, has spent the last few months extremely confused and angry about Zohran Mamdani and Nick Fuentes becoming popular in the mainstream, all while his numbers continue to drop. I honestly don't think he understands what is happening here, so
Yeah, I kind of get the same impression as well. I reacted to the Ben Shapiro video. I just feel like he just kind of doesn't get the memo. Like, he just doesn't get it.
I'm going to explain to you, Ben, what exactly is going on here. The American dream does not exist anymore for most people. Young people followed advice that worked for older generations, and it got them nowhere. Young people are tired of this stale, moldy, old, dead consensus that has dominated American politics for a very long time. The one that dragged us into all these foreign wars and sold us out for some cheap plastic shit from China. Young people are tired of being told to sit down and shut up and pledge allegiance to the free market in a country that seems to not give a shit about them, as well as a foreign country they have absolutely no connection to. For so long, establishment hacks and establishment shills looked at the issues bothering the people and just kind of dismissed them. Can't afford to live where you grew up? Just move. Don't like that the toothpaste is locked behind plexiglass? Just deal with it. Think it's kind of f***ed up how you work 40 hours a week and still can't afford to pay rent? What are you, some kind of communist? You don't like funding a genocide with your tax dollars? What are you, anti-Semitic? If you don't address the issues of the people—
Dude, again, I feel like there's a lot of extra embellishment taken. I don't know anyone that says, oh, you don't like the plexiglass in grocery stores, just deal with it. I think the right-wing approach is, you don't like the plexiglass in grocery stores, we gotta deport all these people and arrest the criminals. I feel like that's a lot more of the stance. And again, maybe this is a huge thing everywhere, but the vast majority of people don't think you're anti-Semitic for not wanting to fund foreign wars. I don't want to fund foreign wars, okay? All right, you can never accuse me of being anti-Semitic, okay? But I don't want to fund the foreign wars either, to be clear. But that said, there is a lot of this, like, name-calling and victim blaming that's just cringe.
The people will gravitate towards those who are addressing those issues. It's not Mamdani's fault he won. It's yours. It's not Nick Fuentes' fault he's popular. It's yours. The tragedy of Ben Shapiro is that he led a life worshipping the free market, only to lose in the free marketplace of ideas. Now!
I'll be real, Ben Shapiro, if Ben Shapiro would want to debate Nick Fuentes, my respect for him would skyrocket 1,000 times. It's the fact that he's not practicing what he preaches by not being willing to engage with Nick that is honestly insufferable. I feel like if my opinion of him would literally 180 if he wanted to debate him. I don't even care if he won, just that he actually was willing to debate the guy. Now, to be clear, I watched the Ben Shapiro video. I see a lot of people misquote him, like that they say Ben's trying to censor people, whatever. Ben Shapiro never tries to censor people that I saw. And if you have any evidence of that, I'd love to see it. He's not trying to censor people. He just doesn't want other people to platform them. Not that they should necessarily be banned, but he doesn't ever want that guy to be around literally anywhere. Ben, debate him. Debate him, bro. All right? Block off 3 hours of your day, have a 3-hour debate with the guy. That's it. I think it's the best format. I think it's the best idea. Ultimately, he is an American that has the right of freedom of speech and his opinion, and crying about it is not going to help anyone. It's not.
With all this—
And for the record, I think Nick Fuentes is delusional with a lot of his points in regards to Israel. You know, how Israel secretly controls the world and stuff like that. I think that's like a delusional take. It really is. So don't just call him an anti-Semite. Debate him. Anyway.
Neocon rhetoric coming out of the GOP.
Yeah, so again, if you refuse to debate him, then, like, at this point, just shut up, man. You know, that's kind of my opinion.
Are the Democrats going to pick up the populist ball that they are fumbling? Are they actually going to get their shit together? Well, they are trying, because they have written an article called Deciding to Win,
All right, what's
where
this?
after interviewing over 300...
And by the way, I actually saved this. I wanted to show this to you. It's not like Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson created a new alliance too. Nick Fuentes crashed out on Tucker.
Talking shit in circular statements for 2 hours about you. You are winning. Stay strong, brother. Just a wang F in Canada.
Thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't like that he keeps calling me an anti-Semite. What the fuck is that? He didn't call me an anti-Semite on the show or in person, so what is that? Well, you know, we eat dinner for 3 hours, then we do a show, we do this big interview, now I'm an anti-Semite. Well, since when? So let me get it straight. First, I was a gay fed in my parents' basement. Then we're totally kosher. Now I'm an anti-Semite. So what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
For 3 years, he's been going around telling everybody, oh, he's a fed. He was a fed at Jason. Everything you can think of. He was trash talking me to anybody who would listen for years. To Alex Jones, to groups of people. I heard this secondhand from a lot of people. This guy was talking shit about me for years. He worked on that hit piece. Then he goes with Candace Owens finally and says, you know, oh, he's a weird gay kid, came from nowhere, he's a fed, he's a Vtube, blah, blah, blah. Then I do a show, none of that. Oh, let's just not talk about that stuff. Okay, if we're friends, sure, let's not talk about it. Now I'm an anti-Semite. Oh, okay. So what is that? I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like fakers. I don't like...
All right, so I've said this the entire time for the record. All right, so there are 3 big names in, like, the anti-Israel right-wing coalition. You got Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and Nick Fuentes. Candace Owens is a retard. Tucker Carlson is a fraud that's paid off by Islamic countries. And I think Nick Fuentes is just a genuine guy that's, like, fed up with America not actually caring about the common American man. He's gay. But, you know, listen, hey. I feel like that's kind of where we're at right now. It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild that this is where we're standing. But yeah, of course he's tired of Tucker Carlson, because Tucker Carlson's a giant fraud. Does he really hate Jews? I don't know, man. I don't know if he really hates Jews, or if it's like he's playing up his clips. Like, I've seen clips about him saying we need a holy war to kill the Jews. We need to come into power and execute the nefarious Jews or whatever. Again, I don't know, man. What am I supposed to say? I don't know if he hates Jews. I doubt it.
100,000.
I think he's more like I like white Christians, and I don't like anyone else as much as white Christians. I think that's his take. I think that's his take, to be honest.
American voters.
Is he really gay? I don't know. Ask Destiny.
From both parties, they may have finally discovered the secret to winning.
To give ourselves the best chance to win, we recommend the following changes to our approach. Democrats need to...
I'm sorry. I feel like I can't keep doing this. There was a clip. Nick Fuentes. This is my favorite Nick Fuentes clip of all time. So after one of Nick Fuentes' streams, like 2 years ago, he ended stream, but he forgot to turn off the broadcast. And then he accidentally streamed gay porn for like 15 minutes, and then he shut it off. And people, you know, started pressing him on that because, you know, he's a Catholic guy. Why would he stream gay porn? He says he's straight. He says he's Catholic. Like, bro, what are you doing? And he says, no, it wasn't me. He was hacked by Israeli intelligence that broadcasted gay porn on his stream. Easily one of the greatest responses to drama of all time. I'm sorry. The greatest clip of all time. That was amazing.
We recommend the following changes to our approach. Democrats need to 1. Focus our messaging on an economic program centered on lowering costs, growing the economy, creating jobs, and expanding the social safety net.
Right.
2. Advocate for popular economic policies. Moderate our positions
Cringe.
where our
This is such a cringe take, honestly.
agenda is unpopular.
We need to say certain things that will get people to vote for us. We're not actually going to change anything, but what we are going to do is convince them that we're going to change. This is literally the Zoran Mamdani strategy, just promise free shit to retards and then not actually deliver on any of it. This is the same exact take.
Including on issues like immigration, public safety, energy production, and some identity and cultural issues.
So basically it took you guys 10 years, millions of dollars, and dozens of Microsoft team meetings to come to the conclusion that everyone has been saying forever. You wasted a decade worshipping at the altar of mentally ill Karens, and now you're acting like, hey, what if we were normal?
I mean, the goal was always to worship the Karens until you could import enough people, and then you need to worship the people that you imported. It's that simple.
Is a groundbreaking political discovery. F you. I could have told you all this for free. It is a bad sign that it took you over a decade to come to the same conclusion that my audience has come to like a decade ago.
I mean, to be fair, the difference here is the Democrats don't actually want to lower costs, because the Democrats, this is going to shake you. It's going to rock you to your core, are the party of the rich. That's why all the billionaires vote Democrat. That's why Jeffrey Epstein, billionaire, gave 89% of his funds to Democrats. Democrats are the party of the rich people. They don't want to lower the cost. They don't want to raise taxes. They want to fuck over the middle class, and they want to import an underclass that they fight for so that the underclass could give them the votes they need so their billionaires can make more money. That's why you look at where all the richest people are in America. They're all divided between California and New York, essentially, and they're both crazy blue states. It's crazy how that happens.
And they're all Please reflect on this, I beg of you. Also, what do you mean you had unpopular positions on public safety? Like, why would you even say that out loud? Yeah, let's vote for the party that admits it was wrong about the issue of crackheads shanking people in the street. I love this quote from
They're still not admitting that, though. They literally want to abolish prisons.
Nancy Pelosi randomly shoved in here.
Winning an election is a decision. You make a decision to win, and then you make every decision in favor of winning.
They're such frauds. It's like, they're not trying to win because they're the better party. They're trying to win because they were able to lie to you enough to convince you to vote for them. Look, they say the quiet part out loud.
How deep?
That's crazy. Bro, she is not happy. She is shaken. She is hangry. She hangry.
How deep? How
bird hands.
Provoking. Thank you, Nancy. What would we do without you? Probably win an election.
Democrats have changed our focus. In comparison with the Democratic Party of 2012, today's Democratic Party is more focused on issues like climate change, democracy, abortion, and identity and cultural...
Cringe! Today's Democratic Party is focused more on an issue like climate change, aka Nothing Burger, democracy, aka Nothing Burger, abortion, aka Child Holocaust, and identity, aka Nothing Burger. These things don't matter! Except for abortion, which does matter for the opposite reason.
...concerns, and less focus on the economy and middle class. The table below shows the shift. Through an analysis of the prevalence of selected words in the 2024 Democratic Party platform in comparison with the 2012 Democratic Party platform.
This whole study is really interesting, but I need you guys to see this chart because when I first saw this, the scream I screamed. So Democrats since 2012 have increased their rhetoric on race by, sit down, 1,137%.
Wow, dude. It's because, I mean, you want me to give you the explanation. It's because the Democrats are like, yo, how do we get the black vote? By glazing black people. How do we get the guacamole vote? By glazing Mexican people. It's literally that simple.
The gays, 1,044.
How do we get the gay vote? By 1,000% glazing gay people. It's actually that simple.
Their rhetoric on men has decreased by 51%.
Yeah, because they know they have no chance, so they just stopped.
Negative 51%. On fathers, negative 100%.
Yeah, because the Democrat Party is the party of fatherless children and Karens. Obviously, why are they going to talk about fathers? Their party doesn't have fathers.
Stop talking about that. Veterans, negative 31.
Obviously, they literally want furries in the military. Dude, are we crazy?
The economy, negative 51 because nobody cares.
Because they're the party of the rich people.
Cares about that, right? The middle class, 79%, but...
Of course, because Trump got the middle class. They're going for the absolute bottom of the barrel criminals and illegals, as well as the billionaires.
I guess you can't really
talk Hollywood.
About something that is disappearing. And jobs, negative 47%.
It's almost like I'm completely correct. Jobs, you know why jobs is negative 47%? Do you know why jobs are negative 47%? Because they're telling people you don't need jobs. You could just get socialism, social benefits, SNAP, food stamps, free programs for you and your retarded cousins. Exactly.
It somehow gets worse. Apparently voters trust Republicans more on the most important issues to them and trust Democrats the most on the least important issues to them. Like they literally care the least about LGBT, but trust Democrats the most with it. The most
true, because they're the party of Satan.
Popular Democratic policies.
It's crazy how correct I am all the time. I'm trying out here to be humble, work on my humility, trying to become a better person, and then I just end up right about everything. You know what I'm saying?
Are things like lowering drug prices, banning stock trading, expanding Medicare, and raising the minimum wage. While the most unpopular Democratic policies are things like abolishing the police, providing free healthcare to
nightmare position.
Illegal immigrants, and affirmative action. You're telling me this for the first time. Democrats, here is some advice for free.
All right, this is the finale. All right, they're gonna twist it National socialism. It's happening in real time. We're going to take all the nationalistic qualities of the Republicans, all the socialist properties of the Democrats, slam them together, and you get Schuenhead and Asmongold. Oh my God. Oh my God. Schuenhead and Asmongold are national socialists. Oh my God.
You can't just be MAGA light. Why would people drink Mr. Pibb when Dr. Pepper is right there? You know what I'm saying? You gotta bring something different, something better to the table. And that difference should be working class focused economic populism. I don't just want 2 neocon parties, okay? But all of this is pointless when it's clear the Dems are not changing at all. They're just gonna change their messaging.
True.
They're putting...
Completely true. And that's why Zoran Mamdani won. Because he was like, yo, I'll just tell the retards that we're gonna give them free things.
Pretty wrapping paper and a bow on a big fat smelly turd. There is a chance that the Democrats may win based entirely on Orange Man bad.
True.
Again.
True.
Which means they might get into office by learning absolutely f***ing nothing. Again. Then the voters will go, oh my God, nothing has changed.
True.
And then they'll vote for a Republican. American politics is just a revolving door of villains, isn't it?
Yeah, literally is. And there's really not very much we can do about it.
Rest assured, whoever wins, we lose. If you're actually gonna do this shit, if you're actually gonna do what you're saying in this...
Dude, that's why I'm so excited. That's why I'm always, like, hopeful that Trump is gonna pull a rabbit out of his hat. Because he's not a standard politician. I feel like if anyone could actually do something like that, it would be like a Donald Trump type guy. And, I mean, to be fair, he's the best president I think we've had in a very long time. But the reality is, JD48 might change things. We'll see what happens. It'll be crazy. And that's why they want him dead. That's why they want Trump dead. I just want to see Trump pull a rabbit out of his hat here with the deportations, with all that stuff. Like, he closed the border immediately. Like, he did some unbelievable things that we're not giving him enough time. But I am silently hoping and praying that over the next 3 years, Trump gets way more radical. I'm a simple man, and I want to see billionaires in jail. All right? Not just because they're billionaires. I want to see rich, powerful people in jail. Arrest the swamp.
Little article. You better be going whole hog, not just a tip. I'm talking embracing...
Perp walk one of those mayors that's said to fight against ICE. George Soros in the slammer. Absolute cinema. Activist judges getting obliterated. Legally, of course. That's what I want to see.
Shoesalism.
All right, she's calling it shoesalism. I'm betting you it's just... law, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you locked in. The Democrats won in 2028, and since then, Sharia law. I'm really glad we've all played this game. Thanks so much.
Unity focus.
Okay, but let's imagine that doesn't happen for...
It would be incredibly popular, but it doesn't exist. And that's probably by design, honestly. The Social Democrat Party of Denmark has passed many progressive policies that liberals in America would only dream of. Protection from rent hikes, free college and healthcare, carbon taxes, and a very strong welfare system. But the Social Democrat Party also believes in a strict immigration policy. They believe that if immigration is too fast or chaotic, it puts pressure on working class communities, weakens social unity, and makes it harder to maintain their strong welfare system.
So in other words, nationalism. In other words, nationalism. She wants the Democrat socialists except to be strong on borders. In other words, national socialists. Wow, I literally called it from the beginning. That's crazy.
Wow, what a fucking grifter Denmark is. I feel like so many people nowadays are like terminally left-right brain to the point where like they look at issues and instead of being like, that solution makes sense to me.
No, I have a whole different paradigm here. I'm Bible brained. I firmly believe that biblical values and biblical law are the best possible system we could follow. And that's kind of been my perspective. I just feel like the Democrats are batting zero. They're literally a nightmare. An actual nightmare. So right now, I guess the conservatives is the best of bad options.
I believe that. I agree with that. They instead go, that's the left-wing solution, therefore I will believe in that.
Yeah,
and it's so stupid
retarded.
And hyper. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
I agree. I have varying opinions on various issues. Some of my opinions might even veer left, actually. Not a lot, but some, maybe. Who knows? But the reality is, the vast majority are on the right, obviously, because I believe in capitalist society. But I do believe on some sort of moderate socialist policy. You know, I'm not a socialist by any means, but if you look at the Bible, for example, it's a hyper-capitalist society where you own what you own and no one else is allowed to take what you own, except all your debts are forgiven every 7 years. It literally says it in the Bible. All of your debts, all of your loans literally get forgiven after 7 years in the Bible. So, hey, that's a pretty socialist perspective, I guess. So, you know, you get some sort of blend there, obviously. That said, you know, ban usury. All right, usury is a hyper-capitalist perspective. It's a sin in the Bible. Ban usury. That's a pretty socialist perspective. Well, that's what I think. So, you know, it's kind of crazy how that happens. You got a nice blend there. Now, here's the crazy twist. I also believe in the same justice terms that the Bible gives us. Meaning, if someone robs you, they need to pay you back double what they stole. And if they can't afford it, they need to become your servant to pay off their debt. Or maybe not like in those exact terms, but they need to work their debt off. They owe you double what they stole and they work their debt off. You know what? They'll stop stealing. They'll stop stealing if that happens. So again, I'm a very simple man in that regard. So, you know, anyway.
That's why I think like a lot of left-right brain hyper-partisan people don't understand me or people like me. That's why they call me a
advocating for slavery, in different words.
Centrist or fence sitter or flip-flopper or whatever. And it's like, no, I'm not a fence sitter. I have many strong opinions. You just don't like them.
True.
And no, I'm not a flip-flopper just because you don't understand.
I respect people that are strong in their opinions and they're not just cucked out to one political party.
Understand the concept of having opinions that don't perfectly.
It's just the Democrats voted for the murder of 1 million babies a year. You know, like no God-fearing man could realistically justify themselves voting for the Democrats. Like they do a child holocaust every single year. You know, that's pretty bad.
Fall on the arbitrary, always changing left-right axis that is American circus politics. There's nothing incoherent about my beliefs on paper. None of them contradict one another. I don't understand. She likes free healthcare but doesn't want to chemically castrate children? She believes in workers' rights but wants a stricter border? I don't get it. Like, where is the contradiction? I'm basically just Bernie Sanders before he got his spine surgically removed by the DNC. In conclusion, MAGA and the Republican Party embracing populism is what made them so popular in the first place. But if the Republican Party's answer to all these issues young people are having is, F you, just move, you're not talented.
But they literally don't do that. Like, they literally don't do that. They are saying they're building more houses, as I proved to you before.
Maybe you'll own a home when you're 70 years old. They're doomed. Like, they had a small, brief fling with populism and ghosted it. Just pumped and dumped. Like a fat whore they're ashamed of and won't bring out on dates in public.
As I'm editing this, Trump and Mamdani had a meeting together, and it was very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
We were discussing when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes, and people had no idea. When he was put out of the race, I think, quite unfairly, if you want to know the truth. Many of the Bernie Sanders voters voted for me, and I felt very comfortable, frankly, in seeing that and saying that. I would feel very, very comfortable being in New York, and I think much more so after the meeting. We agree on a lot more than I would have thought.
I'm sorry, this is my new favorite problematic Yowie ship. They love each other. Maybe it's not over, folks. Maybe the power of friendship and populism will save us all.
Listen, I want
all we need is a little more globalizing of the Intifada, and everyone could sing Kumbaya around the campfire together. I don't think that Mamdani is the cute guy fighting for New York that a lot of people seem to think.
My kids to grow up.
But anyway, he killed his career with that one. The Democrats are terrified now.
In a safe and affordable world where they can get jobs and they can start a family and then they can have the same for their kids. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's what most people want. left and right. They just have different ideas on how to get there. It just so happens my ideas happen to be the correct ones, and if you disagree with them, you will be sent to the re-education camp. Do you want one? Do you want a nuggie? Pledge your allegiance to shoesalism, and you get a nuggie. So
it's just National Socialism. She couldn't call it that for very obvious reasons, but it's just National Socialism. She literally said it, all right? She literally said she wants strong borders, proud of the country, live where you grew up. You want your kids to live in the same country that looks the same as it was when you grew up. You want it to be in that country, right? You love your country. You want to fight for your country. You want your kids to live nearby you, in your country, in your land where you grew up. Classic nationalism. Also, she wants free healthcare, workers' unions, labor shit, government-owned grocery stores, free healthcare, free childcare. Classic socialism. She is literally advocating for National Socialism. She just had to give it a different name because there's a bit of an... Listen, some people view National Socialism as, well, not, not super palatable.
Was that little video. If you liked it, please subscribe for more, and if you want to help support the channel, donate to my Patreon, link down below.
Someone in my chat literally just said, I don't know why you keep laughing, but the Nazis were National Socialists. How did you not get that? All right, whatever, we're done here. Thanks for being here, appreciate it. Nuxalism is the best philosophy because it's just basically Bible. That's right, I believe in biblical law. It sounds archaic, but it gets really fun. Really fun! After someone pays you back double after robbing you. I'm just saying, things start looking up. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.